Welcome back to channel.topcoin. Have you ever looked at a simple penny and thought, this could be worth thousands of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stick around, because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1983 United States 1-cent coin. A coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but hides a history and value that could blow your mind. If you've got a jar of old change lying around, this video might just inspire you to go digging. Let's rewind to 1983. Ronald Reagan was president, Return of the Jedi had just hit movie theaters, and Michael Jackson's Thriller was dominating the charts. But while all that was happening, the US Mint was quietly producing a coin that would go on to become a collector's treasure. Now, the 1983 penny was just a continuation of the Lincoln cent design first introduced back in 1909. This design honored President Abraham Lincoln and was a monumental change in U.S. coinage history, the first time a real historical figure graced our circulating coins. But in 1983, something interesting happened. Actually, a few interesting things. Just a year before, in 1982, the composition of the penny had changed. Prior to that, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But copper prices were soaring, and it just wasn't practical to keep minting pure copper coins. So the US Mint made a big switch. Starting in the second half of 1982, the penny's core became primarily zinc, 97.5% zinc, coated with just a thin layer of copper. This meant the coin now cost less to make. It also opened the door to some interesting minting quirks. Now here's where it gets fascinating. All 1983 pennies were supposed to be made from the new zinc composition. But in recent years, a few incredibly rare 1983 pennies have been discovered that were mistakenly struck on copper planchets. Those are the blanks used to make coins. That's right. A few 1983 pennies actually weigh more than their zinc counterparts, because they're secretly made of the old copper alloy. These are not just interesting. They are rare. As of today, only a handful of these copper 1983 pennies are known to exist. One of them sold at auction for over $15,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, 1 cent, selling for more than a used car. So now you're wondering, how do I know if I've got one of these rare pennies? Weigh it. A zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams. But a copper penny? It weighs about 3.1 grams. That's the magic number. If your 1983 penny weighs around 3.1 grams, you may be holding a rare error coin worth thousands of dollars. You'll also want to look for any signs of doubling, especially on the date and the lettering. A 1983 double die reverse penny has stronger, doubled letters on the back side of the coin. Those errors are also quite valuable. Some sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. Market value and demand footage of an auctioneer and online coin markets. The demand for rare error coins has never been higher. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for these oddities, and the 1983 penny is one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatics. So what's the current market value of a 1983 penny? Let's break it down. A standard 1983 zinc penny in circulated condition is usually worth face value, just 1 cent. A 1983 penny in mint condition, what collectors call uncirculated, can be worth anywhere from a few cents to a few dollars, depending on the grading. A 1983 penny with a double die reverse can be worth $250 to over $1,000, based on how strong the doubling is and the coin's condition. And that ultra-rare 1983 copper penny? If authenticated, it can fetch anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 or more at auction. If you think you've found a valuable 1983 penny, don't just take it to the corner store. Here's what to do. First, get it authenticated. Companies like PCGS or NGC are trusted grading services that can confirm whether your coin is the real deal. Then you can list it through an auction house, coin dealer, or even online platforms like eBay or Heritage Auctions. And remember, condition is key. Coins in pristine shape, no scratches, no discoloration, command the highest prices. Scene 7, Fun Facts and Closing TOUGHTS. Before we wrap up, here are a few fun facts about pennies. The Lincoln penny is the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. It's one of the few coins that's been minted in both steel and zinc in the 20th century, and even though it's only worth 1 cent, some people have made entire fortunes off the right one. So the next time you find a penny on the sidewalk, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Flip it over. Check the date. You never know. It might just be your lucky day. OUTRO. Call TOACTION. Have you checked your change lately? Let us know in the comments if you have a 1983 penny lying around. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we've got more coin stories coming your way. Hidden treasures, rare errors, $1,000,000 finds, it's all right here on the channel. If you love discovering rare finds, learning historical facts, or making money from coins sitting in your drawer, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because today's episode is all about the 1986 1-cent coin from the United States of America, a coin that could be worth hundreds, or even thousands of times more than its face value. Let's begin with the basics. The 1986 1-cent coin, better known as the Lincoln cent or Lincoln penny, features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This iconic design was first introduced in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. By 1986, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for over 75 years. It still bore the bust of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that replaced the original wheat ears in 1959, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial reverse design remained in place until 2008, so 1986 falls right in the heart of this era. Now let's talk about what this coin is made of. Here's where things get interesting. The 1986 penny was not made entirely of copper. In fact, due to rising copper prices, the United States Mint changed the composition of the 1-cent coin in 1982. Before that year, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Starting in mid-1982, the composition shifted to 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper, with the copper only forming a thin plating over the zinc core. That means the 1986 penny you might have could be primarily zinc with a copper plating. The coin weighs about 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters, and features a plain edge. It was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a D mint mark, those from San Francisco carry an S, and coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark at all. In 1986, the U.S. Mint struck a staggering number of these pennies, over 4.4 billion from the Philadelphia Mint and nearly 4.1 billion from Denver. That's a lot of coins, which might make you think they're too common to be worth anything more than face value. But here's the catch: rarity is only one factor in value. Condition, mint errors, and collector demand play a huge role too. And some 1986 pennies fall into a very special category. Now let's dig into the real treasure hunt: rare varieties and mint errors. This is where ordinary coins can become extraordinary. Some of the most valuable 1986 pennies are those that were struck with errors. These errors can include double die errors. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die but slightly misaligned, creating a doubling effect. If you have a 1986 penny where the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, appears doubled, you could be looking at a valuable find. Off-center strikes. Some coins were struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing and a crescent-shaped blank space on the coin. The more extreme the off-center strike, and the more of the date visible, the more valuable it can be. Die cracks and cuds. These are raised lines or blobs caused by damaged dies. A 1986 penny with a visible die crack or retained cud can fetch a premium. Struck on the wrong planchet. This is extremely rare, but occasionally a penny is struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, or even a foreign coin. If you ever find a 1986 penny that doesn't weigh 2.5 grams or looks odd, it might be worth having it authenticated. Let's not forget about proof coins. The San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the 1986 penny, struck with extra care for collectors. These coins are shinier, with mirror-like surfaces and sharper details. A 1986 S-proof penny in perfect condition, known as PR69 or PR70 by grading standards, can command a strong price, especially if it comes in a certified holder from a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now for the part everyone's waiting for. How much is a 1986 1-cent coin actually worth today? Let's break it down. A regular 1986 penny from circulation in average condition is generally worth only face value, 1 cent. However, a 1986 penny in uncirculated condition, with no wear, sharp luster, and minimal handling, can be worth between 10 cents and $1 or more to collectors, especially if it's certified as MS65 or higher. A 1986 penny in mint state condition can be worth slightly more due to higher demand and lower supply in gem grades. A 1986 S-proof penny graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo can sell for $5 to $25 or even more, depending on demand. Now here's where the big money comes in: error coins. A major double-die 1986 penny has been known to sell for $100 to $300, and off-center or wrong planchet errors have sold at auction for as much as $500 or even over $1,000 in rare cases. So how do you know if you've got a valuable 1986 penny in your hands? Here are a few tips. Carefully inspect the coin under a magnifying glass or microscope. Look for doubling, especially around the lettering and date. Weigh your penny. If it doesn't weigh 2.5 grams, you may have an off-metal strike. Check the edges and rims for cracks, chips, or unusual features. Compare with images from trusted coin sites or grading companies. If you suspect you have a rare or valuable coin, consider submitting it to a professional coin grading service for authentication and appraisal. So the next time you find yourself with a handful of change, don't overlook the humble penny, especially the 1986 Lincoln cent. While most may be common, a small fraction of these coins hold history, craftsmanship, and collector value that far exceeds their face value. Whether it's a pristine mint state coin, a proof with flawless detail, or a one-of-a-kind mint error, the potential is there. The thrill of discovery is real, and who knows, your next penny could be worth far more than 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins and hidden treasures in your pocket change, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Have you found a rare 1986 penny? Do you have a coin you'd like us to investigate? Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Could a tiny, copper-colored coin hiding in your pocket be worth a small fortune? That's right, we're talking about the humble 1996 1-cent coin from the United States. A coin so common, yet hiding secrets that even experienced collectors might overlook. What if I told you that one of these coins, sitting quietly in a jar or buried at the bottom of your drawer, could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars? Today, we're diving deep into the rich history, surprising rarity, and current market value of the 1996 Lincoln penny. So grab your magnifying glass, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your change the same way again. The history of the 1996 1-cent coin. The year was 1996. Bill Clinton was president, the internet was beginning to change the world, and the U.S. Mint was still striking copper-plated zinc pennies bearing the image of President Abraham Lincoln. This design, first introduced in 1909, remained largely unchanged, featuring Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design used from 1959 to 2008. In 1996, over 13 billion pennies were struck. That might sound like a lot, and it is. But not all 1996 pennies are created equal. In fact, certain rare varieties and mint errors from this year are turning heads and fetching serious money in the numismatic market. The different mint marks P, D, and S. Before we talk value, let's understand the mints. The 1996 penny was struck in 3 major facilities: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; Denver Mint, marked with a small d; San Francisco Mint, produced proof coins marked with an S, Each has its own significance, and depending on where your penny was struck, it could be common or extremely rare. Key factors that drive value. So what makes a 1996 penny valuable? It all comes down to a few critical factors: mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. Condition: coins graded in mint state, especially MS-65 and above, can command premium prices. Proof coins: these are made for collectors, not for circulation. A perfect PR70 deep cameo penny can be a treasure. Varieties, like wide AM versus close AM, or a repunched mint mark. Let's break these down. Valuable errors in the 1996 penny. Some 1996 pennies have been found with doubling on the date, or the word liberty. These are known as double die-averse errors. Imagine finding one of those and realizing it's worth hundreds of dollars. There are even off-center strikes, where the coin is visibly misaligned. A 1996 penny struck 50% off-center? That could bring in $150 to $300, depending on demand. And then we have the famous clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin is literally missing because of a minting mistake. These bizarre-looking coins can fetch well over $200 if authenticated. High-grade condition, the gold standard. Most 1996 pennies you'll find in change are circulated and worn. But a pristine coin, graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can turn heads at auction. One particular 1996 penny in MS-68 RD sold for over $700. And proof coins? A flawless PR70 from the San Francisco Mint can command $100 to $400, or even more if it's certified by a top-tier grading service. The market today, what's it worth right now? The market for Lincoln cents is alive and well, with collectors searching every day for hidden gems. As of now, here's a general value breakdown. Circulated 1996 penny, face value to $0.05. Uncirculated, MS-60, MS-65 20 cents to $5. High grade, MS-66, MS-68 $25 to over $700. Proof coins, PR-69, PR-70 $10 to $400 plus. Error coins, $50 to $1,000 depending on rarity and demand. Yes, that little penny you've been ignoring might just be a jackpot. How to check your 1996 penny? Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my penny is valuable? Check the mint mark under the date. Look for doubling on the lettering and date. Inspect the edges for clipping or unusual shapes. Evaluate the condition: no scratches, wear, or discoloration. You're on the right track. Consider professional grading if it looks flawless or rare. Penny collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. Whether you're sifting through rolls from the bank or revisiting your childhood collection, the thrill of discovering a valuable coin is like striking gold. And with the 1996 penny, the odds might be more in your favor than you think. So, go check your change jar. Look in that old piggy bank. Who knows? That unassuming 1996 penny could be the star of your collection, or the beginning of a new passion. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and drop a comment below if you've found a rare penny in your pocket. You could be the next numismatic success story we feature. Today, we're talking about a coin that's tiny in size but gigantic in history, mystery, and potentially even value: the 2006 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. So buckle up, grab your coin jar, and let's find out if you've been holding a fortune without even realizing it. First, let's take a closer look at this little copper-colored marvel. The 2006 Lincoln penny features the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse, or the front, of the coin. This design has been in use since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. But don't let the familiar face fool you. Some 2006 pennies hold secrets that could make collectors absolutely lose their minds. Alright, let's break this down. In 2006, the United States Mint struck Lincoln pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can identify the mint location by looking for a tiny letter right below the year on the front of the coin. A P stands for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. While billions were made, not all pennies are created equal. Some have rare errors, varieties, or features that make them highly collectible and valuable. So why is the 2006 penny so special? What should you be looking for? Let's talk about minting errors. Errors can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable rarity. For example, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or coins struck on the wrong planchet can all be worth much more than face value. In the case of the 2006 penny, there have been some notable and highly prized errors found by eagle-eyed collectors. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 2006 double die penny. This means during the minting process, the die that stamped the coin shifted slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect on the design. If you see doubling in the words Liberty, or In God We Trust, or on Lincoln's eye and facial features, you might have something truly special in your hands. Some of these error coins have sold at auction for anywhere between $50 and several $100s, depending on their condition and how dramatic the doubling is. And here's the real kicker: if your 2006 penny is in mint condition, or what collectors call MS or mint state with a high grade like MS 67 or above, it could be worth upwards of $1,000 or more, especially if it's an error coin. But let's talk numbers. How many of these 2006 pennies were made? The U.S. Mint struck over 4.2 billion pennies in Philadelphia, more than 3.8 billion in Denver, and around 1.6 million proof coins in San Francisco. That's a lot of pennies. So how can you tell if yours is valuable? Here are a few things to look for. First, check the condition. A shiny, untouched penny with no scratches, discoloration, or wear is always more desirable. Next, check for any oddities. Look closely at the letters, numbers, and Lincoln's profile. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe if you have one. And finally, weigh the coin. A standard 2006 penny should weigh 2.5 grams, made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating. If it weighs more or less, it might have been struck on a different metal planchet, and that could mean big bucks. Some collectors have reported 2006 pennies struck on 3.1 gram copper planchets, leftovers from the pre-1982 penny days when coins were made of 95% copper. If that's true and you find one, you're looking at a possible treasure that could fetch thousands of dollars at auction. No joke. Now let's bring this back down to earth. Not every 2006 penny is going to be worth a fortune. Most are still only worth a cent, or maybe a few cents if they're in nice condition. But the real thrill is in the hunt. Because every now and then, someone finds that one special coin, tucked away in a coin jar or slipped into change at the grocery store, and suddenly, they're holding something rare, something valuable, and something that connects them to over 100 years of American history. And even if your 2006 penny isn't rare or valuable today, it might be in the future. Coins are always aging, and the number of preserved high-quality examples gets smaller with time. So it might just be worth holding on to that shiny little penny after all. So, what are you waiting for? Check your pockets, your piggy banks, your old drawers, because that 2006 penny you overlooked could be your next big discovery. And if you find something cool, tell us about it in the comments. We'd love to hear your coin stories. If you enjoyed this video and want more content on rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss a treasure hunting opportunity. We've got so many exciting coin deep dives coming your way, and you never know which everyday coin might just turn out to be a gold mine. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell because today, we're diving deep into a coin that could be hiding right in your spare change, and might be worth a surprising amount of money. We're talking about the 2008 United States 1-cent coin, the Lincoln penny, and what makes it so fascinating isn't just its design or its role in American history, but the rare versions, mint errors, and collector interest that make it way more valuable than just 1 cent you might think. It's just a penny! But hang tight, because after this video, you might be racing to check your change jar, your couch cushions, or even the bottom of your purse. Let's get started. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny has become a fixture in American life. By the time we reached 2008, the coin had already been in circulation for nearly 100 years. But 2008 was no ordinary year. It marked the last year of the original reverse design, the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had appeared on the back of the penny since 1959. In 2009, to commemorate Lincoln's 200th birthday, the U.S. Mint introduced 4 brand new reverse designs representing different stages of his life. So in a way, the 2008 penny marked the end of an era, a final tribute to the classic Lincoln Memorial design that millions of Americans had grown up with. This alone makes the 2008 penny historically significant, but as we'll soon see, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. In 2008, the Lincoln penny was minted at 2 primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while coins from Denver bear a small D beneath the date. Over 5 billion Lincoln cents were minted in 2008, which sounds like a massive number, and it is. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all of those coins are created equal. Some of them were minted with unusual errors, while others were struck in uncirculated condition, stored away, and now highly sought after by collectors. If you've got a 2008 penny, flip it over and look carefully. You could be holding something a lot more valuable than its face value. Now let's talk about the real treasures, the rare versions of the 2008 penny that can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the collector market. Let's start with errors. These are mistakes made during the minting process, and they're like gold to coin collectors. Some 2008 pennies were struck off-center, meaning the image isn't properly aligned. These can sell for anywhere from $15 to over $100, depending on how dramatic the misalignment is. Then you have double die errors, where the design appears to be stamped twice. This can create a shadow-like doubling of the date, the lettering, or the Lincoln Memorial on the back. A strong double die on a 2008 penny could sell for several $100s if it's in good condition. Another rare type is the broad strike error, where the coin is minted without a proper collar, causing it to spread out and look unusually large. Collectors love these because they're so visually unique. And then there's the holy grail of errors, wrong planchet errors. A planchet is the blank piece of metal the coin is stamped on. Some 2008 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal, like a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank. These are incredibly rare, and they can sell for over $1,000 in auctions. So next time you're looking at a 2008 penny, don't just glance and toss it aside. Get out a magnifying glass. Look for oddities, doubling, strange shapes, or unusual coloration. It could mean serious money. Even without rare errors, condition plays a huge role in a coin's value. A 2008 penny in circulated condition is usually only worth its face value, 1 cent. But a 2008 penny in mint state, graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch $5 to $20 or more, especially if it's from an original mint roll. Now, if you have one in near-perfect condition, say MS68 or MS69, the value can jump to $100 or more, especially if it's a full red RD coin with no signs of toning or damage. The redder and cleaner the penny, the more a collector is willing to pay. There are even proof versions of the 2008 penny, specially struck for collectors with a mirror-like finish. These were only available in proof sets and weren't released into general circulation. A 2008 S-proof penny in perfect condition can sell for $10 to $50, depending on the market. So what's the current market like for 2008 pennies? The demand for high-quality Lincoln cents has been growing in recent years, driven by a younger generation of collectors, online marketplaces like eBay, and numismatic influencers who've helped bring coin collecting into the digital age. If you check recent auction listings, you'll see that graded MS67 and MS68 examples of the 2008 penny are selling for $50 $50 to $200 depending on the mint mark and overall eye appeal. Double die errors and broad strikes are still highly desirable and are commanding even higher prices. Rare 2008 era coins have sold for over $500 or more, depending on uniqueness and condition. One documented example of a 2008 D penny with a major die crack sold for over $700 at auction. The bottom line? This isn't just a boring old coin. It's a tiny piece of American history with the potential to put some real money in your pocket. So, the next time you see a penny from 2008, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden gem, whether it's a rare mint error, a high-grade example, or just a clean Lincoln Memorial design from the final year before the big change. The 2008 penny is worth way more attention than you might think. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny in your pocket, and let me know what coin you want me to cover next. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a single penny.